Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is targeting a significant expansion of its tourism sector with plans to increase the industry's contribution to GDP to US $1.7 billion by 2030. And that's good. I think you should be looking at reaching that goal before 2030, though. What are you waiting on? For the elections in 2030? I know everything is a gradual process, but still, man, I mean, you need to start to invest significantly in the agricultural sector and the tourism sector here in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at what Guyana is doing. No one would have ever really thought about Guyana as a tourism destination, and yet that is what Irfan Ali is doing. He's promoting that now in Guyana and investing significantly in tourism. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Abigail Baino, says achieving that goal will require significant growth in several niche tourism markets. Acting Permanent Secretary Baino said the government has set an ambitious target for the sector's growth over the next several years. As I said before, yes, I know everything takes time, but come now, man. 2030 can even give us a 2028. To reach that goal. That would have been nice. He said the ministry has already identified 6 priority areas for development, including yachting and marine services, ecotourism, health tourism, business conferences, cultural tourism, and sport tourism. Wonderful. Will they accomplish it? That's the next thing, because we hear a whole lot of promises now from this government. We are not really seeing much. We really aren't seeing much. Up to now. Roads all over the country still have a whole set of potholes. You ain't really seeing anything much with the infrastructure being fixed. I don't know. I know the government inherited a bankrupt economy, right? I know that. The PNM Patriots will never admit that. But very early on in the Kamala Prasad's new term in office, the PNM people and them ask, we're going to get the money to go and do this and go and do that. They knew that the country was bankrupt. Don't get tired. PNM knew it. The economy isn't only collapsing now. It's getting worse now because the UNC has failed to be able to revive it. But it was collapsing for many years now. Year after year, Christmas sales were getting worse. And you know when an economy is collapsing because when Christmas sales are very slow. And it's years now that has been happening. Years now. Go back and search online for all the news reports about Christmas sales. In consecutive years, the sales have been getting worse and worse and worse. Why? Because the economy, the middle class had lost their purchasing power. She noted that the yachting sector alone presents significant opportunities for revenue generation. Definitely, and you could probably consider it in Tobago as well. Ms. Baino also highlighted the country's competitive advantages in ecotourism. She also said that medical tourism is another area that the government intends to pursue, with plans aimed at attracting overseas patients. She stressed, however, that the government cannot achieve its tourism goals alone, calling for greater private sector involvement in developing attractions and services. Yeah, we all know that. But the private sector don't collapsing right now, Queen Cams, Tyrant Cams. You realize that business after business, I'm leaving Trinidad. You know when UNC won, when UNC wins, everybody wins. We were saying now we're going to get a lot of foreign investment. We're going to get a lot of businesses coming into Trinidad and Tobago. Then, bam, Kamala and them decided to increase the prices increase fees and fines and duties and fuel, right? Now, natural gas I'm talking about, right? And a lot of these businesses said, but we can't afford this at this point in time. We will start to make a loss. What they did, the Kamala Prasad's administration said, we will talk to them. You talk to them and they still end up having to leave. And they will say, well, it wasn't really about the price of the fuel, It was really because of the supply. It didn't have a sufficient supply. All right, Kamala, all right, with the supply, okay? All always have an excuse now. But a lot of other businesses are packing up and leaving as well. Because the cost of production continues to increase while the profits are decreasing, because sales are decreasing, because once again, the middle class hasn't regained their purchasing power, even though you have been in office for more than a year now. But UNC wins, everybody wins. Yeah, I'm destroyed our country, but you are failing thus far, tyrant camps, to revive it. Sad to say so.
Trinidad and Tobago weather report for Tuesday, July 7, 2026. On Tuesday, July 7, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago will experience partly cloudy conditions with a few daytime showers and isolated thunderstorms. The region is expected to see a daytime high temperature of 31 degrees Celsius and an overnight low of 25 degrees Celsius. Seas will be moderate in open waters. Waves will range from 1.5 meters to 2.0 meters in open waters and remain below 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. Waves can become choppy near heavier downpours. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service recently deactivated its formal yellow level adverse weather alert, but locally heavy showers can still produce quick street or flash flooding, gusty winds, and localized ponding. Residents and commuters should remain alert during the mid-morning storm windows.
Regional news now. Supervisor of Insolvency, Fayola Evans Roberts, is encouraging small business owners struggling to meet their financial obligations to take advantage of the options available under the government's insolvency regime, which is designed to provide support and relief. Speaking during a hybrid micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise webinar on Monday, June 29th, at the Small Business Association of Jamaica in Kingston, Evans Roberts explained that insolvency is a legal framework designed to assist individuals and businesses in managing financial distress. Sounds good. Sounds good, especially after that hurricane that destroyed so many parts of of Jamaica, so many businesses in Jamaica. People are still struggling to recover, especially in the rural areas. And so much time has passed now. It seems as though everybody has forgotten about that crisis in Jamaica. Jamaica still needs help. Yes, we are focusing on Venezuela, and I pray that many more lives are saved and so forth. But we cannot forget Jamaica either. International news now. President Trump marked the launch of Trump accounts by ringing the opening bells of both the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ from the White House. The new program, created under the One Big Beautiful Bill, gives eligible children born between 2025 and 2028 a federally funded $1,000 investment account at birth, with families able to contribute up to $5,000 a year. Now this, putting aside Trump's total nonsense in the Middle East, how he is making friends with radical jihadists and terrorists and abandoning Israel, betraying and bullying Israel. This is good. This is good. President Trump touted the program as a way to help young Americans build wealth early on. I'm definitely sure a lot of Americans, including the radical left, children, are going to benefit from this and be happy about this. Michael and Susan Dell were in attendance alongside key economic cabinet members. The couple previously pledged a $6.25 billion, not million, other people, though you didn't hear me wrong, $6.25 billion commitment, including $250 contributions to Trump accounts for children ages 10 years and under. Good work. Good news. Hamas' recent announcement suggesting it is prepared to step aside from governing Gaza does not represent a meaningful shift and continues to fall short of the conditions required for a post-war transition, according to multiple sources familiar with the negotiations. It's just lies. It's just like how the Iranians lie. They always say that they're going to make these compromises with America and Israel, well, especially America right now with Trump, and then they violate those terms and conditions. You expect their proxy in Gaza to do any differently? A diplomatic source involved with the Board of Peace Initiative told I-24 News that Hamas' declaration means nothing arguing that the group is attempting to preserve its military power while shifting the burden of governing Gaza onto others. Exactly. So they will still be in charge. Once you have the military, once you have power with the military, you're in charge of a country. Just like how here in Trinidad and Tobago right now is controlled by the TTPS, not the UNC. It's that it shows that Hamas is under pressure. They're concerned, the source said. They're saying the technocratic committee can come in, take over our bankrupt economy, our broken services, and all of our problems while we keep our weapons and keep our... You understand what I'm showing here? No, they need to disarm. At the center of the negotiations is the proposed non-partisan civil administration for Gaza, a technocratic body intended to oversee civilian governance and spearheaded reconstruction after the war under an internationally backed roadmap developed by the Board of Peace, Trump's precious Board of Peace, all part of the Antichrist system, I would say. Despite Hamas' public statements, a diplomatic source told I-24 News that the organization still has not agreed to allow the NCAG to enter Gaza and begin operating. Two additional sources familiar with the talks said Hamas has complicated negotiations in recent weeks by withdrawing from previously discussed understandings and introducing new demands, just like what the leaders in Iran do all the time, the IRGC and the Ayatollah. According to the sources, Hamas has rejected core provisions of the Board of Peace roadmap. You see what I'm telling you? Including allowing access to weapons hidden in underground tunnels as part of a phased demilitarization process and transferring all weapons to Gaza to the exclusive authority of the technocratic government. They're never going to give up. Terrorists, the only way to deal with terrorists is to eliminate them, to remove them from power by force, like what Israel is doing. You cannot make deals with terrorist people. Will never work.
Bible quote of the day. Hebrews 11:3-6. Faith, the foundation for understanding God and pleasing Him. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. By faith Enoch was taken from this life, so that he did not experience death. He could not be found, because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.